live in Miami, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Game time.
Yeah. So thanks for having us here in your
hey,
office.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I've enjoyed the morning with you. All right.
To be here.
I've already learned a lot. I'm already tweaking some things here in the group. So.
Good. So we've got you here. You're coming to the UK, doing a UK tour, both in London and Glasgow, 2 days. And before we jump into that, think a bit more about what we're going to be doing. Can you maybe tell us a bit more about yourself? Because we're assuming that everyone knows about you.
Yeah.
So let's hear a bit more about your backstory.
Yeah. So look, I'm a guy that I've always wanted to do well in business, and I didn't love school, probably more on the side of hating school. I see my kids going to school now and they hate it, and because it's slow. Takes time. It's like, and I don't know why I'm doing it when I'm a kid, right? So as a kid, that's what was going on for me, and I couldn't be an athlete. There was no way I was going to be a musician. I don't know how to paint anything, so I'm like, what am I going to do? And so my whole life I've been trying to discover who am I and what am I going to do. And underneath all that, I also wanted to take care of my family, and my dad instilled that in me because my dad died when I was 10 years old, and he took care of his family. He went to work every day, he worked hard, he did whatever he had to do. Like most people are really hardworking. And then when he died, he had achieved a lot, but he left the family in a position where my mom had to start making some changes. And changes, when people that are watching, particularly the people that you guys are talking to, you're in that space where people are interested in change. Change is great when you want to do it. But when you're forced to change, because of finances, that's a different kind of thing. And so at 10 years old, I learned the biggest lesson in my life. Like, don't be forced to change your condition. Get in a condition where when things happen around you, you don't have to, you benefit. It's not a disadvantage to you, it's a benefit to you. Yeah. And so my whole life I've been trying to get myself in a situation that my dad, as much as my dad wanted to, he never got us in that position. And so for the last 35 years, I've been studying super successful people. Like, the guys in your country that everybody's like really admires, even people that aren't living anymore. I've been studying those people with their finances, with how they grew their business, with how they scaled their business, with how they became known. Even large companies that have been super successful for hundreds of years, going in and studying what did they do when they were little, what did they do when they scaled, what did they do in their struggles, and how did they finally become a behemoth. So I've written 7 books, 13 best-selling business programs. The business programs most people don't know about have sold millions and millions of more copies than even the books. Yeah. Where companies have paid for these big systems and programs that we go in, spent millions of dollars. My first 25 years of my career I spent on companies, improving their top line. And the last 7 or 8 years has really been working more with smaller companies to make a difference.
Okay, so why do you want to come to the UK? Because I know you're really motivated.
Well, all the power in the entire universe is still in the UK.
That's it.
Like I mean, if you look at the power grid, if you look at the entire planet, I mean, I want to meet everybody. We love people. My wife and I love people. My kids love people. So I've been in America for 60 years. I've been in almost every city in America. I know every American joke, every American story. I want to come learn about your whiskey. I want to come learn about your business. I want to come learn about. I said this earlier today. Americans are very ignorant people when it comes to the rest of the world. And so it's been a disadvantage to me not to travel more. My twin brother spent a lot of time in London. He was in London. He started a business there, a multi-billion-dollar business there, and expanded around the world. He doesn't do that anymore, but he always told me, he's like, Grant, you need to travel more. You need to go meet more people. There's so many more opportunities out there that you're not seeing. The banking industry, like the central hub of banking on planet Earth, is in London. Yeah. The best golf in the world is where?
Scotland.
That's it.
So I'm like, hey, London, we're coming. Scotland, we're coming.
Yeah.
So Grant, for those who are interested and for what you're sharing there, I mean, how much more potential have you realized in your business since you started to travel, since you started to get known, and since you started to get your message out there? And where do you want to go?
Yeah. So every great thing that has happened to me happened after I moved, or happened after I went to something. All the great moves in my life. Now, I remember when I was making 60 grand a year, 60,000 US a year. So that's like 30,000 pounds, right?
Yeah.
And I was struggling. I was like, I can't make more than this. And when I figured out how to make, I remember when I was making 36,000 American dollars a year and could not figure out how to make another $1,000 bucks. And when I made that $1,000, I was making $3,000 a month. And when I learned how to go from 3,000 to 4,000, the most important money I've ever made in my entire life was that $1,000. Because it was like, oh wow, I have control over my income. That was the most empowering thing I've ever done in my life. And it required me to move. It required me to change something. So I'm not saying that the only way to improve your life is to move, but when you start moving, like when I study Warren Buffett or Steve Gates or Elon Musk or any of these power players, alive or dead, they go to conferences. They go gather huge fees, by the way. They spend tremendous amounts of money, millions and millions. People complain about a $500 ticket, or, oh, I got to get on a plane and pay another 500 pounds, or I'm going to have to get a hotel and it's 200. These guys are paying millions and millions and millions of dollars every quarter to be in the club.
Yep.
Why? Because I want to be connected. They want to trade money. See, they know there's a trick, and we'll be talking about this in the 4 days I spend with you guys. They want to trade. They want to trade money. That's a copy. By the way, the copy's not worth more or less than this is. It's all made up anyway. They're willing to trade their money for access to people and power. And so, I want to meet people in the other parts of the world where there is power generating and new ideas and people that want to grow and do better.
I've always found it funny that whenever I go to a conference, I mean, we're successful businessmen, but whenever we go to conferences or events, the people who are taking the notes are already the most successful people in the room. The people who are notably successful are the ones sitting, writing things down, filling the notepad, making phone calls, whereas a lot of the guys at the back are just watching. It's entertainment, So I think it says a lot, especially when someone says, £97, £187, £1,000 is too much for a ticket. Now, there's a reason we're bringing you to the UK. There's a reason.
Well, if they knew what you paid me to come there, they would think that their ticket is a steal.
We paid for our seats.
You guys had the most expensive seats there.
Yeah. But it's worth it. Even to us, it's worth it. Yeah. Because it's the club. You can always learn from the people around you.
Well, and I'll never forget you guys. Right? I'll never forget who you are. Like, I meet a lot of people every day. If you want a little hack, a little trick, okay, pay to play. Pay to play, man. Get access. It is worth it. And the problem is most people don't do this, not because they don't know it, but because of the way we were brought up. I would expect in England and in Scotland, there's a tremendous amount of pressure to remain in your class.
Huge. It's massive in
this
the UK.
exists in America too, just so you guys know. America is not some fantasy place of freedom and everybody's rich here. Most people are not rich here. We just call it something different. We call it, we've been hypnotized to believe politically, we've been told, oh, you're in the middle class and you got it made here. The truth is most people here are working class. They have a couple cars, they got a big house, they can barely pay their bills. In your part of the world, people know where they sit, okay? And they're like, this is my working class. This is what I am. And in many cases, this has happened in America too. So my hope is when I come over there, we start freeing people up to say, I can go where I want, do what I want, be who I want to be, because that's possible today in the world.
Where did the motivation come for you to want to do that, giving back to and speaking to people?
Yeah, because when my dad died, my mom had to sell her house. They had to sell our house, and that house was phenomenal. I have my best memories in that house. And literally the Monday, we buried my dad on a Sunday, and then we got these lights, guys. Can we fix that? Y'all see them, right?
Yes, sir.
Y'all see him doing that? I see him doing that. I feel like I'm at Motel 6. When my dad died, when my mom should have been in grief, she was having to sell the house because my mom was in fear. She was basically in a... You just gonna turn them off, Johnny?
Yeah.
Okay. So when my mom was in grief and should have been in grief, she was having to sell the house. Like the following week, she's like getting a realtor, sell the house, blow it out, get rid of it. And so I learned a bunch of stuff right then. One, a house is not. Can I say this?
You can say it. You have to say it, Grant.
I have to say it. A house is not an asset.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
If you're going to sell houses, that's good. It's a product to make money on. If you're going to rent the house out and make income, that's good. But a house where you live is not an asset. Your business is an asset. You are an asset. But your business, if you have to pay for a house, it's not an asset. It's a liability. So I learned that day. Number two, I learned, my dad hadn't done enough. And number three, for the next 15 years, from 10 to 25, I just kept waiting for somebody to help me. Somebody please guide me. I went to college. I spent 5 years in college because I thought a professor was going to grab me and say, "Follow me, young man." I thought my uncle was going to be like, "Come this way." I thought somebody was going to come out of the shadows and say, "I am super uncle and I'm going to take care of you, my little lost nephew." And it never happened. So that's what motivates me, because I said, one day I'm going to get myself in a position to help people.
Yeah.
And look, there's a lot of successful people in the world. I know guys with hundreds and thousands of times more money than I have and have achieved more. But that doesn't mean they're willing to give of their time. They can write checks. I've raised $200 million for charity. I know a lot of really super generous people. The one guy that I spent 3 months with one guy to give $20 million to charity. I spent 89 days of my life with him with one goal in mind. I was going to get him to write a check for $20 million for charity. It took me 89 days away from my job, my main job. So, by the way, I got another 20 from him, and it only took like 20 minutes a second time. Okay, and but the charity was unbelievable. It was great. He wrote a bigger check than I could. The point of that story is this: he is not going to come to London and spend 2 days with people he doesn't know.
That's it.
He doesn't. That's not his deal. His deal is to write a check. My deal is to give money and energy and time. So I can't write a $20 million check because I'm not 20 million liquid right now. I have the other 20 million set aside. So it's like, where do people want to chip in? Where do people want to volunteer? Where can everybody give more of themselves? Because it goes back to that question about potential. The thing that haunts me in my life is, it's not competition, it's not really money, it's not the fuel in the plane, it's what is my potential? You know, I look at a guy like Lord Sugar, you know, in your country. I'm like, dude, that guy's got a yacht down here, you know. I'm like, he hadn't invited me on his yacht yet. Come on, man. Okay. But I see so many people that have done so much more than I have, and it inspires me to want to find that part of me that can do more.
Yeah.
And you know, there's so many people watching this, so many people who are, going back a little bit, there's a level of pride associated with the class. So a lot of folk who are in a certain income bracket, location, there's a certain proud to be
I made it here.
But the reality is, underneath, there are so many people just desperate to break it. That's what drove me growing up. It was this desperation that, why have all my friends got the best games? Why have they all got this? You know, why have they got Sky TV? And we don't? Why is it that they have this and I don't have it? And for me growing up, I wanted these things in my life. I mean, that was the initial motivator. You know, obviously, as you kind of grow forward, there's other motivations as well. But for me, it was breaking out of that. And there are so many people out there in the UK and beyond who want more for life, but they don't know that they can have it. They don't believe they can have it. Because they've been told and educated that they can't have it.
And I think events like this where you get around other people that believe they can have more, and they're trying to study how to have more, right?
Yeah.
You know, if I wanted to learn how to swim, I would have to go be with guys that are swimming. Not guys that are talking about swimming, not guys that used to swim. I would need to go to a swimming pool with people that are swimming. That would inspire me to swim, to go spend time with Michael Phelps and say, hey man, teach me how to do that. And that's the same thing in business. The business skills can be learned. I actually have a better chance of learning how to be a professional, successful business person than I do of being a professional swimmer.
Mm-hmm. If you want Michael Phelps to teach you to swim, that's going to cost?
Oh, that would cost me $180,000 for 1 hour of Michael Phelps.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are caught up in this idea that if they're transferring money for education, that it's somehow a con, or it's somehow misleading, or it's somehow just high-pressured sales tactics, when the reality is, I don't think any one of us would be sitting here today if we hadn't gone out and learned and hustled and worked and sought that education.
But see, on that point, this is the thing that I've picked you up saying this as well, Grant, it's so true, is that when someone's not got a lot of money, a lot of disposable income, and they're thinking about, well, how do I get by? How do I go and become a business owner? How do I go and do this? It's not to go and spend it on something else. The best investment they can make is in themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's that knowledge, it's the stuff that because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And when you get new information, there's a different way to do business and do life, and that's probably the first investment you should be making. And I remember you saying that.
Yeah, totally. Like people should spend whatever you can on you. Mm-hmm. And I don't have fancy belts, and I mean I got a nice watch, but I didn't do any of that stuff in the beginning. I have a nice car, but if you invest in you, my mom told me, look, if you invest in yourself, you can't lose it. Nobody can take it from you. You can take my money from me. Mm-hmm. You can take my office from me. You could take you can take my car from me. You can't take whatever knowledge I have. I think also a lot of people have given up on education because it goes back to what I said earlier about education has been so slow traditionally and so expensive, frankly. 12 years in public schools. What do you call it over there?
Same.
Public schools?
Yeah.
Is it 12 years?
It's about that, yeah.
Yeah. It's awful, right? So they're like, oh my God, I'm going to be stuck. Like when I say, hey, come to our conference, you're going to be like, first thing, I'm going to be stuck in a seat for 12 years. Even though I know it's not 12 years, it's 2 days. Yeah. And you're not going to be stuck in a seat, right? And you're actually going to get information you want. I remember being in classes for 5 years where I couldn't ask a question. On each of the 4 events that we're doing, both in London and we talked this morning, and in Scotland, is I want to do Q&A, cover some material, get Q&A so that if you're a plumber or a contractor or a real estate person or maybe a single mother, you're like, your questions are all going to be different. And all I knew about school and college, university, was I had to pass the test. I didn't even know why I was in the class. I had to do that class. This is different because people are going to come to these 2 events. They're coming because they know why they're coming. You're coming because you want to improve your finances, you want to improve your income, you want to know what to do with your money, you want to know how to close more business, you want to know how to negotiate better deals, you want to know how to scale your business, you want to know how to get financial freedom. That's the only things I can really talk about. My wife is going to be there to share how we do it together, because let's say you got your money right, you got your income coming in, you got your yacht, your plane, you got now you're like, hey, how am I going to do my life now? How am I going to find time to take care of myself so that I have the money, I have the success, but I'm not killing myself, I'm not burning out. Mm-hmm. So I want to look and act younger as I become more successful, not get old and decrepit and angry.
But this is what people find when they get in a room with you, Grant, is it's the energy. And this is why people have to come and see you when you're here in the UK. There's a lot of people on the fence right now who can't necessarily decide if they've got the time or if they've got the energy, but they need to realize the energy that you will bring to completely revitalize their business to that next level. So, what would you say to those people who are on the fence right now and they just don't necessarily know?
I would say that the fence is a terrible place to be. Nothing happens from a fence.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, unless you're mending fences, you're fixing fences, there's not a lot of money in that. Like in my life, the worst thing that I can do is be in doubt, be in indecision, be in a maybe. Like it's yes or no, one side or the other. There's got to be one side of that fence that you want to be on or the other side. And for me, saying yes has always worked for me. Like we looked for ways to say yes to this event. It's very, very difficult. I got a lot going on in my life. This takes a tremendous amount of time to, I'm not going to not spend 2 weeks. I'm going to be 2 weeks in your countries to do this event.
Yeah.
So that means I got to bring my kids because I'm not willing to be without my kids for 14 days. So I got to fund them, a nanny. My wife's going to be with me. We'll probably bring Johnny, the camera guy, because he gets good photos. He gets good photos sometimes. And then a pilot. And then I'm not doing my real estate business while I'm here. I'm not doing my other obligations and commitments. So the point of that is this. I know you got a wife or a husband that's working. You got a job. You got to figure out how to get away from the job for a day or two. You got kids yourself. You got all those problems. I figured out how to say yes to you guys. And we kept looking for, how do I say yes? How can I make it work? How can I say yes to good things? You know, I'm a man of faith. I have a lot of faith. I believe that if I ask for something, then the next thing I need to do is open the package when it comes to me. And I see a lot of people asking, begging, thinking, meditating, praying. And then when you get it, you don't open the gift.
Exactly.
People answer your prayers, dude, and you're like, nah, I can't do it. Like, how do you know that that's not God intervening on your life right there? Or whatever you call God, okay? He's like, okay, how about I'll bring Grant Cardone to Glasgow for 2 days. All you got to do is drive 2 hours. Oh, 2 hours, a long way, man. What if you knew this was the deal? And so at the age of 25, I just quit saying no to stuff. I started saying no to all the bad stuff and started saying yes to anything that could possibly make me better. If it had this much potential to make me better, I traded money for the possibility. Because if you, and by the way, money is a legitimate and real problem for people. They're like, I don't have the money, I can't pay for this deal. If money is the issue, and money was an issue for me, as long as you hold on to these pieces of paper, you will not get more paper. So you got a handful of pounds, you got 80 pounds, you can't, 80 pounds, if you're down to your last 80 pounds, okay, you're already broke. Make it official, come to this event, and maybe you'll get 8 million pounds of data. Because a man told me this one day, I said, man, I'm down to my last $300. He's like, Grant, $300 not your problem. 300 million, that's your problem. Change your mind right now. You have your attention focused on a flat tire, not enough fuel in your car, the apartment rent. This was all the problems I had back then. Your problems are so much bigger than that. I'm like, huh? He's like, your problems are not $300 a month. Your problems are you don't have $300 million. And that changed everything for me. That second I was like, I need bigger problems. And I think a lot of people, particularly if you were brought up in that working class, middle class, we are taught to move away from problems, not solve problems. If you solve problems in your own life, you will end up with money. And that's why the most successful people, the Richard Bransons, he solves a lot of problems. Elon Musk, he looks for problems to solve, not for problems to have.
Yeah. Create order from chaos.
Yeah.
That's what we like to do.
Yeah.
It's fun. So, Grant, we can't wait to have you. We're really looking forward to it. There's a few reasons we're bringing
We should just start right now. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I love being around you guys. Okay.
And this is not like a keynote. We've got you for like 2 days in London and Glasgow.
Yeah. So what is a keynote in your country? What is a keynote?
It's somebody there for like an hour.
Yeah.
So speaking
40
for
minutes
an hour.
sometimes.
And the challenge with that is you're always wanting more. You're left wanting more information, more
Well, I
content.
think some of these programs they run where like they'll bring the big guy, the big name in and say, look, you need to do 30 or 40 minutes so we can get back to selling.
So this is what I was going to say a minute ago. One of the reasons we're bringing you over is for that breath of fresh air that the UK needs badly. Because in the UK, I mean, there's a lot of great speakers, a lot of great events, but you go to these things for a couple of days, you are sold, and then you get half an hour of the person you came to see. And that's not the way we want to do it. It needs to be that breath of fresh air, and that's why we're very grateful to have that 2 days.
And let me just say on that note, like I've gone to events where I'm watching a guy pitch, or I bought a book. I bought a guy's book. I remember one of the books that most influenced me in my whole life was like, I hated the book. Every freaking page I turned it, I'm like, I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be this guy. I read the whole book though. That book ended up proving to be one of the most successful things I've ever read because it taught me what I didn't want to be. So when I go to a conference and I watch a guy pitching, because I love sales, because I know anything that I want to solve in my life, I'll have to make a sale to solve that problem. And so when I watch a guy pitch, like if I'm watching TV I mean, I know people complain about the pitch guy at the stage, but if I'm watching TV and I run into an infomercial, what do you call them there?
Yeah, commercial.
Advert.
I have to watch it.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I got to see how the pitch goes. Yep. How's the pitch go? How's the pitch work? Does he make a good pitch? Where does he pitch? Where does he Huh?
What can I learn from this?
What can I learn from it? So even when you guys go to these things and you complain about them, you don't need to put your complainer eyes on. You need to put your student eyes on. Hey, what do I like about this pitch? You don't have to buy it, right? Remember, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But if you don't keep learning, then you're not going to keep earning. It's just, this planet now is changing so fast. And that's really a good thing. Because if you're willing to change fast, I like the action, right? But if you like things staying the same, you're going to be in for the most brutal financial times of your life. You don't even know what trouble is yet.
And that's why people need to come to this, Grant.
Yeah.
Because I know that's your big focus. Business is changing.
Yeah.
You know, what worked a year ago
Yeah.
does not necessarily work today. So if you're not keeping up, I mean, you're not even staying level, are you?
Yeah, and you need real strategies today, not just to feel better. The energy is great and everything,
Yeah.
but my energy is tied to a strategy.
Exactly.
Right? So the energy and the motivation, if you will, it needs to be tied to what do I do though, okay? And it's not just about social media. You can't just get 40 minutes on how to get known on Instagram. You need products, and you need more than one product. You probably need for every product that you love, core product, you probably need another 11 products surrounding that product so that you can have additional income. Mm-hmm. And I can't deliver that in 40 minutes. I can't deliver that. You also need some financial motivation. I know there's guys out there right now telling you that you're better off working from home than you are for the same money. Let's say you earn 60,000 pounds working for company A. You're better off working for yourself for 60,000 pounds. Nobody is better off working for 60,000 pounds. You can't live on 60,000 pounds. The Queen's going to get 48. And you got to figure out how to live on 12,000. Can I talk about the Queen?
Of course.
I mean, that's the reality of the situation. The Queen's got a good deal. Okay?
Yeah.
So and her deal's in the manifest, right? She's like, we got to take care of the income of this country, and we got to take care of a lot of people. By the way, that's what all of us should be doing. Figuring out, how do I take care of more people? How do I service more people?
Yeah.
And then how do I charge for that? So we'll be talking about finance. You got to have your financial house in order mentally. Now, I love Gary. I know Gary was over there recently. Yep. But you see, Gary's not heavily money motivated. I don't know why Gary's not heavily money motivated. But I know I am. I know it's my responsibility for my family. Okay, my family was an immigrant. They came from Italy over to the United States. His family, they're immigrants. Like, I am interested in my finances. I am interested in my kids not having to go to any school, that I can homeschool them if I want. I am interested in my kids learning from planet Earth. That'll be their university. And if they want to go to Harvard or Yale, what's your big college over there? Or university?
Oxford, Cambridge.
Yeah, then I want them going to Oxford or Cambridge. But I don't want them to go there for the books. I want them to go there for the connections. Yeah. So these events that you put on, who can I meet in a room? I always tell Elena, we're going to this event. They're paying us to come to this event. Who can we meet? Who can we take a photo with? Who can change our lives? Who can we partner and do business with? We're partners, right?
Exactly.
So we want to do partnerships with people. I am heavily financially motivated. And also have strategies, books, audio programs, systems that I need to put in place so that I can scale the business out. And then how can I give back? How can I service the world? How can I get more people to know me? So all that, we'll spend 2 days in London. What do we do? I'll do 4 different gigs over 2 days in London. And then we'll go to
Glasgow.
Well, we've got Cardiff and Wales, and then we're off to Glasgow for 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days at the boot camp.
Yeah.
So
and
traveling across the country.
Yeah. So can people go to both events?
So
they should, by the way. You guys should come to both events. Why
absolutely. Why not?
Why not?
We'll be there.
We've got Glasgow, London first on the 16th and 17th.
Yeah.
10xuktour.com. And then you're doing a keynote in Cardiff, 2 keynotes in Cardiff. And then we've got you in Glasgow on the
24th, 25th of November.
25th in Glasgow, and that's a 2-day boot camp as well. And again, 10
And maybe
extra
my
feet.
beard will be grown out the way yours is by the time I'm over there.
Gossip catching up with Billy.
My success in that department.
No, it looks good, dude. It looks good.
So yeah, we have a little something for you.
Yes,
Okay,
we do.
good. What you
yeah.
got?
So
Whiskey.
this is
Scotch whiskey.
we obviously
What time
from
is it?
Scotland.
It's the time,
That-
isn't it?
it's the right
Whiskey
time somewhere.
Whiskey
It's,
time.
It's always time.
Yeah,
And
What
Jared's
time, what
walked
time
in.
is it in London right now?
5 hours ahead.
8, almost 8.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
perfect.
Perfect time.
7 p.m.
So Bill, you want to talk him through
Okay,
the
okay,
whole
okay. So,
quick-
so we've got some whiskey here, right? Whiskey, Scottish
Whiskey.
whiskey, Scottish whiskey, but it comes from American casks, American barrels as
Can you
well.
grab my phone so I can put this on Instagram? It's in my jacket, actually.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah, I did the same thing, Jared. You guys ought to put that right in the middle of the room. Thank you, Jared.
And we've got the Quake.
Dude, can I open
Can't
this?
do it without the
Of course,
quick.
yeah.
Yes. We've got the Quake.
I love it.
Now, what is this? What is
So
this for?
this is the Quake. So my best attempt to describe this is this
Thank
is
you, Jared.
call it a cup of friendship. I've seen Nelson Mandela drinking for one online the other now.
Nelson Mandela drank
Yeah,
this?
he drank. Lots of people.
Did he drink out of
From
this
that
one?
one?
That?
Let's
Yeah,
just
say
say
yes.
yes.
Say yes.
Say yes.
Say yes.
Right, and this is from clan life in Scotland. So clans, if they wanted to unite, when partnerships came together, when an agreement was made, when a deal was done, they would pour whiskey in the Quake and they would pass it round, and each person would have a drink.
Dude,
And
that's
that
awesome.
symbolised we are one unit. So that's why we brought it. So
Let's
get
do
the
it.
whiskey
Let's do
folks.
it. Let's do
go
it.
for it.
Let's
Well,
do it. How much do I put in here?
As much as you
Enough,
like.
enough to
This,
pass it around.
this
yeah.
this reminds me of being in Catholic church when I was a kid. Though this looks like the
Whiskey, hard whiskey.
no it looks
I know
like
Billy's looking at that going like, he's like, that's enough for me. I don't know about you guys.
okay. Yeah,
Whiskey.
I didn't put
Whiskey.
enough in there.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
In here. Okay, so do I go first, or
Yes.
is there some tradition in the quick?
There
You
is,
go
but I don't speak Gaelic, so that's the Scottish old school
Hey.
language. So.
So I speak Gaelic. I got
Slanjava.
Slanjava, that's it.
Slanjava.
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 There we go.
There we go. Right, Paul's turn. That's good whiskey.
Wow, that is good. Wow, that's really nice.
So this,
it?
this
Let's get it round.
symbolises
That is
deal
that
being
is.
done.
Where's this from? This is unbelievable.
It's really good, yeah.
You want something, don't you, Jared?
Jared, you've got to get involved.
Jared loves this kind of whiskey.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Is there any left?
Yeah.
Yes,
Get
no?
Jared in the shot, guys.
Get in
Get
the
Jared
shot,
in the
Jared.
shot. Let's go.
Come on round.
Okay.
Zanzibar.
So now
Slanjava.
we're a tribe
Slanjava.
now. What are we?
That's
it.
Clan.
We're
We're
a
a clan.
clan.
The deal is done. The agreement is made.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Awesome.
Dude, that's good. You like that, Jared?
Yeah.
I mean, it really fills up the throat.
Be good with a cigar.
It's,
Huh?
that's it.
Awesome.
It's very nice.
So we look forward to having you in
Yeah.
UK.
Now, but let me ask you. Now, this is selfish. Now that I've had my shot
Do it.
from the wick. So, what's the weather going to be like? Like, should I bring my sticks and play?
You most definitely should play.
It's
Yeah,
going to be
so-
cold.
You've
though,
got to,
man,
yeah.
huh? I mean, I live in Miami here.
Yeah. We've got some of the best courses. We take you out to Glen Eagles, take
Okay.
you around there. So yeah, if you can handle the course with your thermals and your
Is that what I do?
Expect the wind.
I got to wear a
Layers,
scarf.
Yeah.
layers, layer up,
Yeah.
layer up.
Maybe
Should I wear a suit out there?
No, you're gonna need to wear like rain pants. You're gonna have to have like long underwear. Basically, you know when we go to Park City, we go to Deer
Yeah,
Valley
yeah,
and go
yeah.
skiing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're basically gonna wear that
We could get a
when you
kilt.
play golf.
Oh, yeah,
A kilt?
yeah, you should be on a kilt for the
Yeah.
stage.
Now
Yeah.
we're talking.
We're going to hook him up with a
Maybe
kilt.
not London.
I
Maybe
think you
not
guys are
London.
getting a little carried away now.
I got some Scottish in me. You can
Yeah,
tell.
yeah. Well, I look forward to being there, and I look forward to making some great relationships. And again, I'm glad you guys didn't just bring me in for 40 minutes.
That's it.
I do a lot of those, and I always tell my staff, I'm like, I like working with people where we can actually get to know one another. 40 minutes is just not enough time for anybody to know what is the intention of the person, where's this person coming from. By the way, when you guys get information from people, like, you need to know where that person is on their journey. I'm at a certain place in my journey right now, different than I was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So Steve Jobs, he was quoted for saying that, you know, don't work for the money, work for the thing you love, because it's going to be hard anyway. And everybody nods their head and says, oh, that's beautiful. But I just want to remind everybody, Steve Jobs was rich when he said that. Because he wasn't saying that when he was 28 years old. He was like, I got to get some money so that I can actually get make this computer. So you need to know where the person, you need enough time with a speaker or an educator or a mentor or whatever you want to call that person that you're going to work with, to know where is that person in their own journey. So I look forward to meeting the people that you bring together. It'll be the right people that need this message at the right time, in the right place. Yeah. And I know you guys have picked 2 iconic places out, right?
Yeah. That's right, and we're excited as well, Grant, because I know the UK needs your message. Yeah. In a big way, and that's why you've got the full 2 days in 2 locations. It's going to be just an immense journey together, and as you said, the audience in the room, that's what half of it's all about, the people you ignite together with this sort of tour that we're doing. It's going to be insane, and the kind of audience that follows you around the world, Grant, you're about to meet some UK followers, so you know, excited.
Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your partners, because there's nothing worse than going to something like this. Yeah. And then you're fired up, you've got the energy, you go back home and your partner's washing the dishes or walking the dog, you know, or your business partner's not on that same level. So bring people, bring that community together and grow at the same time.
I agree.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
Fantastic.
Can't wait.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Thanks,
we'll see you in the UK, folks.
Let's do it.
That's what happens when he has one little sip. We're live in Miami, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.